Hey guys, welcome back. Kamina the Koach here. So this time coming at you from Hong Kong. I'll try to remember to give you a little glimpse of that before we wrap up here. So today's video is about so I've talked about this before, I'm pretty sure. Well, what I did a video before about was that teachers need a degree. So yeah, I've, I just left Thailand and they will hire you without a degree. So would you want a doctor working on you without any kind of degree or licensure? For those of you who have children, would you want your children to be taught by someone who doesn't have an education? I mean, let's just be reasonable here, folks. Like, teaching requires a degree, and it requires quite an extensive amount of education and pedagogy. Like, there's a real art to teaching. So let's not take that away from our teachers, our professional teachers. So if you're just getting started out, I did start out with a non-teaching degree. We don't take it away from you if you're trying to better yourself and become a professional teacher. We don't take that away from you. But definitely in my teachers group, Americans of Color Teaching Abroad, we're welcoming in teachers, professional teachers, or teachers that want to become professional teachers. I definitely don't have a group for backpackers. So for those of you who really desire to be expats, and being an expat is much different from being a backpacker. A backpacker just wants to do whatever they can to live abroad, and no shade to them, but that's not what I am. And the people that I help, that's not what they want to do. The people that I help want to work and live abroad, and the term for that is expatriate, expat for short. So I'm an expat. So if you're like me and you desire to live abroad, as a teacher, the ESL world is diminishing quickly. If you're in my teachers group, you've heard me say this a lot. The ESL world used to be hot and popping. The Middle East used to be a place where if you just had a degree in any subject and a in-class CELTA or an in-class TEFL, so CELTA is a certification to teach adult learners English, or a TEFL is the American version of that. So the thing is you can get stuff like that online, and a lot of places in the Middle East, those weren't accepted. So you really needed an in-class 120-hour CELTA or TEFL and a degree. Even if you were a licensed teacher, a lot of places want you to have the CELTA or the TEFL. Anyways, so that has dried up. Right, and when I took my CELTA way back in 2013 in Beijing, China, the instructor was from Auckland, New Zealand, and he had been doing ESL for a long time, and he said that ESL would eventually dry up. And so now your options are going to be very limited for ESL teachers unless you want to teach at a training center, which I never recommend. That training centers are more for backpackers. Training centers work really erratic hours. You're not really a teacher, you're just more like a babysitter, and you're a salesperson instead of an educator. And you can make decent money, but they're going to kind of work you like a slave. It's definitely nothing I ever recommend to my teachers. Or kindergarten or preschool, and that's pretty much what it's dwindled down to, kind of what only what your options are, especially if you're getting new, if you're coming out here new into the ESL world. So $1,000 to $2,000 a month, maybe, depending on your experience. And yeah, so I mean, if you just want to come out here for a year and it's a gap year after you get out of college, again, this is, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people who want to get out here and kind of live long term, 3 to 5 years, maybe indefinitely. So here is, well, let me back up. Why is the Middle East drying up? Why is the Gulf drying up? So when I first went to the Gulf, so I've made up to $5,000 US in the Gulf with only an undergraduate degree and my CELTA. I did have quite extensive experience before then, but still with just an undergraduate degree and a CELTA. So what's going on in the Middle East? And people keep asking me this over and over and over and over. What is Saudiazation? What is Emiratization? What is Omanization? What is Qatarization? Well, what it is, and Bahrain had already started this quite a long time ago. So what it is now the oil prices have dropped and there is a bit of a recession in these countries. So, and they're being pushed to hire their own people. There's huge unemployment rate in Saudi Arabia, huge unemployment rate. And I'm going to do my best not to talk about politics that have to do with my morals, right? I'm just going to talk about politics that affect our jobs. So, Saudiazation, Emiratization, all these azations is, so what the government has said is you can't keep bringing in these foreigners that your locals could do the work, to do jobs for which you could fill with your locals. So the standard is going up, 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 up. Pay is going down, 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 down. So you have to have a lot more qualifications to get the good jobs, and the packages are not what they used to be. And this is happening like semester to semester, much less year to year. And I've seen it just in my time overseas. I've seen salaries drastically drop, and requirements going up and up and up. I feel very, very thankful to have landed the position that I'm going to now in Saudi Arabia and Dammam, because qualifications are just so high now to get in. People want degrees in English, degrees in TOEFL, master's degrees. Even just if you're just a licensed teacher, a lot of places won't take you. They want a graduate degree. So that's why I'm working on my master's in education right now, so I can open up some more doors for myself. So let me tell you what has happened here. So I'm actually, like I said, I'm in Hong Kong, and I was on my way to China. So I'm Hong Kong on the way to China at the Hong Kong Chinese border, and I got turned around at the border. So I'd already had all my paperwork processed for my visa. I was just going to apply for my work visa at the border, and lots of people have done that already. However, because of the political situation between my country and China, I suspect that was the reason I got turned around at the border. It could have been political reasons, it could have been the color of my skin, it could have been just they were having a bad day. Who knows for sure. But I got turned around at the border unexpectedly, and they said, hey, go apply in Hong Kong. So 4 days I've been stuck here in Hong Kong now, but the very next day, thankfully, I got to aggressively applying for jobs, and it's really miraculous to me that I was able to land such a good job so quickly. So I started applying that morning and had something by that evening. So it's true testament to that I have a lot of experience in getting what I want to get in this field. And part of why you should work with me if you don't know what's going on in the field. So anyways, here's the advice. It was a long video. Here's the advice. Guys, I know that living in the United States is expensive and it's extremely tumultuous right now. But if you want to come out here long term, get licensed before you leave the United States. Start your master's program. A lot of these master's in education programs, even if they're distance, require some portion in class. So I'm getting a master's in educational technology, and it's teaching me a lot. Makes me uncomfortable, and being uncomfortable means I'm growing. But it's not really the degree I wanted. I really wanted a master's degree in higher education, in the practicum in class. At the university I'm at, they only offer it on in classroom. A lot of master's in education programs are going to require that you be in class or do part of it in class. If you don't want to teach children, get your master's in education, master's in TOEFL, master's in English, whatever, before you leave the United States, or at least start working on it. Or if you like classroom, if you like teaching children, get licensed. I'm going to try to remember to link to my boy Raynor Roberts. He can show you how to get an alternative route to United States licensure in a couple of different states. And he's cheaper than Teacher Ready, but if you want to use Teacher Ready, I'll try to remember to link to their site as well. Both of these are courses that you can do online, and then go take the tests, go take the praxis to get licensed in different states, right? So get licensed, get your master's degree, get some further education before you come out here if you're trying to be out here for any length of time, because it's drying up. So I don't want to see anybody get in the same situation that I am, effectively in prison overseas. Now, don't get me wrong, I'd rather be overseas living this kind of life than in the United States, but I wish I would have known then what I know now. And I definitely would have armed myself with quite a bit more education and certifications. So that's just my 2 cents. Remember, from 10 years and like 7 or 8 countries worth of experience, trust me guys, I'm not just speaking off the top of my head. If you want to work with me, if you want to schedule some time to speak with me, hit me up. I'd love to speak with you. If you like this video, share it with your friends, hit subscribe, hit like. I'll see you next time. Wishing you love, peace, light, and joy, even when I'm in a kind of crappy situation. All right, Kamina the Koach. I'll see you next time.